everyone, I thought it would be interesting to colour this heart design, as we're still in Valentine's week. I don't think it's even Valentine's Day yet. This is from Johanna Basford's World of Flowers. It's one of her older books, but with the heart shape I thought was very on trend. No, I don't know. Anyway, and also the lovely lady Claire that gave me my Holbein pencils says she's struggling to get them to go down nicely in Johanna Basford's older books, UK editions. So this is obviously one of Johanna's slightly older books. So I thought I would have a go with my Holbeins and see what I can do with them in here. So I'm just going to come in close. We're going to do this large flower in the middle first. Just because it doesn't look like any of the others, so it's just on its own. I don't feel like we're straight. I don't know, maybe we are, maybe we aren't. So if you don't have the Holbeins, I do have some comparison charts between Holbeins and other brands, so you should be able to colour along, I hope. If you struggle, let me know. If you've got a brand that I haven't done a chart for, then I will I'll see if I can put one together for you. This is Azalea. I haven't got as much time at the moment as I have been having, so it might take me a little bit longer than usual. I know I'm usually quite quick, but my husband's been having various medical appointments. I sort of explained in my last video. I don't want to go over it again, but I just have to be with him when he has these appointments. He likes the company, he likes me with him, and I like to go as well because I can. 2 pairs of ears are always quite good. What I'm doing here is I'm starting dark here and I'm fading. I'm going to do another layer because it's not really dark enough. And then I'm going to bring another colour in from the edge and put it together with this. And I'm going to try and make a sort of blend. I think it'll be an interesting... I haven't tried this that much with these Holbeins, so I thought it'll be an interesting idea. Now these dots are quite small. If you colour over them by mistake, I'm actually probably going to do them black, so it doesn't really matter too much if you colour over them by mistake. I'm going quite gently at the moment, because I haven't tried the pencils on this paper before, so I'm not really sure what to expect. And a little hint, which I have told you before in Holbein videos, is the Polycolor, Koh-i-noor Polycolor blending pencil. Works really well with these pencils, I have found in my experience. I tried all the pencils. I just on my swatch chart I just blended away, and I found that the Caran d'Ache did nothing. The Prisma, the Derwent was unimpressive, which is quite rare, and the Prismacolor didn't really work either. Now Prismacolor usually works really well, but it didn't. So I just happened to have this Polycolor Koh-i-noor one, and you can get them on Amazon. Koh-i-noors are fairly pricey because obviously they're shipped from abroad, and yeah, so all worrying a little bit about foreign shipping prices, but we won't go into politics, but it might be worth stocking up. It's probably too late. I think they're Japanese, so it might be okay. But anyway, it might be possible in some places to find them in the shops as well. I don't think I've ever seen them in shops in the UK, but I got mine off Amazon. But maybe in other countries they might be in the shops. We don't seem to stock Koh-i-noor. Maybe I don't go in the right shops. To be honest, I don't go in art shops very much. It sounds a bit weird for someone who makes art videos. I really should. We've got one in our town. Well, we've got 2 shops that sell art stuff. We used to have an art shop that went out of business, which was quite sad. But we have another art shop, and they're a bit snobby in that, you know, they have a few colouring books, but I think it's only because they jumped on the bandwagon because they thought they should. It might make them some money, but if you tell them you're a colouring book artist, they look down their nose at you. The staff who work in there are all artists who do. They're not colouring book artists, and also their stock is really old, So I've bought stock in there before and it wasn't good because it just got too out of date. So I don't go in there very much, to be honest. And when I ask for things, they don't get them in. They don't know what I'm talking about. Possibly because I use brands. I mean, they stock polychromos, they stock Derwent. And they stock other Faber-Castell too, pencil-wise. And I think they have some tins of some Caran d'Ache. And that's it. And they have, interestingly, they have the Mungio, not the Mungio pastels. The soft pastels that I use come under 2 different brand names, which is a bit odd. And they have the other brand name, but they're the same soft pastels. But they have other soft pastels which are fancy round cylindrical ones with paper around, you know, that you can buy singly. But they don't even have like a pan pastel or anything like that. So, but of course they have loads of other. They have Posca pens, which I sometimes buy from. I don't know why I've chosen not to do this one. There's no, it's because I'm blabbering. So yeah, I sort of want to go there, but I don't. And then we have a stationery shop that sells Derwent art products, which again, I don't buy a lot of Derwent. I love the Chroma Flow, I have to say, but I think Derwent are quite pricey. But I think they're made in England, which is probably why they're pricey, because our labour prices are expensive. I mean, I couldn't believe it when you know, my son was like, I'm going to be being paid minimum wage in my job. I was like, oh, okay, how much is minimum wage? I looked it up, and for his age, now, minimum wage changes in different age brackets. Between 16 and 18, it's lower than 18 to 24, I think. And then after that goes up a bit. So for his age bracket at 19, it's £10 an hour. I think it goes up to £12 something an hour. I was like, wow. And then I thought, oh, I used to earn that in a week when I had my first job. And then I was like, shush, stop it. I'd sound like I'm some sort of old bag. Now, old hag is what I meant to say. Now, I've sort of screwed up a bit here where I've taken it too dark to the edge. Can you see? But I'm just going to try and make it work. I'm not going to try and erase it back. Now, what colour am I going to do on the edges? Well, these turned over edges, I haven't decided. I'm just ignoring them. Oh, I haven't done this one at the moment. Just because I can't make a decision. Now, my original plan for this flower, I was thinking of those roses that are sort of peach and yellow and combined, but these I've used pink, so I can't do that. But I'm thinking I might use yellow on the tips and try and blend it into the pink. Now, it's going to be a little bit odd and it might be hard. I'm going to try it. Have a look and see if you like it. But I'm not going to, I went to grab the canary yellow, but I've decided I don't want to do that. I'm going to go for one of the lighter yellows. I think this one might be pretty. I'll give it a go. It might be horrendous, who knows. This is the Naples yellow. I don't think it will be though. So where should we start? We'll start here. And I'm going to put down a layer and then just take it over the top of this. And I think I'm going to have to layer the pink again, because this looks quite, these are quite soft and chalky, but the darker colours, look, it's not mixing up at all. If you're used to being able to blend on the paper, these aren't that type of pencil. They're a layering pencil, more like a polychromos, I guess. So I'm going to put down a layer of this now. I find yellow is quite hard to blend. Because it can, I have a tendency, I think it's my fault, I don't think it's the pencil. I have a tendency to put too much yellow down because it's faint, to make it show up, and then it reduces my ability to be able to layer it because I've filled up the tooth in the paper. So it could just very much be me, but we'll see what I can do with it. So you can see I'm just overlapping it here, but I find the best way with trying to blend hard pencils or layering pencils is to do lots of different layers, and I tend to usually do one section at a time rather than doing like the the whole plant and then doing it again and again. I would usually do one petal at a time, but I don't know why I did it this way really, because I was yapping. But yes, so back to what I was saying right at the beginning, I might be slow, excuse me, in getting charts done, but also in just yet I might not be able to release as many videos as I've been doing. I'm getting quite behind, to be honest, compared to where I am usually at. So well, we'll see. You know, I'm not going to put pressure on myself to get it to quickly do things, but you know, I think this week we might be okay, but we'll see what happens. You know how it is. Family always comes first. I've got to be out on Wednesday. That's a whole different thing. My son's got a hospital appointment instead, but his is just a sort of regular checkup to see if his meds are, how his meds are working out for him. All seems okay in my opinion. Now I'm going to do this one. This is where we started, do you remember? And I'm going to layer this pink up a little bit more. I'm still going to fade it as I go up to here, but I'm just going to try to see if I can put a bit more in here, and then go in back in with my yellow, put a bit more yellow on top. Just go back and forth a bit and see if I can create like a bit of an orangey colour. I'm just trying to go reasonably gently. There we go. Just sort of darkening up that colour. Yeah, it's not a really smooth transition, and I think I've chosen quite a difficult blend to try to pull off, to be honest. What we might do in some of the others is sort of go light blue to dark blue or something like that. It's much easier to achieve. Now here I'm going to go quite lightly, like that, and then go to, so I'm using the same two pencils. I'm not going to keep telling you the names of them. It's the Naples Yellow and the Azalea that I've used all the way through this plant. I'm not doing any other colours. I quite like how that's come off. Seems a bit better. I think I'm just getting the knack of it maybe. Maybe I coloured that one better. I don't know what I'm doing here. I might do black like these. Excuse me. I'm wondering though whether black is a good idea, because it might dominate too much. But I could colour them black and then put a white dot on top. That's nicer. Well, that seems to have smushed. Maybe oh, that has two. Look at that. So I'm doing a round and round movement, and now it's smushing it more. Oh. Well, there we go. So you don't necessarily need a blending pencil. So I'm going to take this up a bit more. That's quite interesting. And then I'm going to smush this. So around and round. I'm putting a fair bit of pressure on it really. I probably shouldn't be pushing this hard, but there we go. So round and round, smushy, smushy. That's not what I expected it to do. But, you know, they do feel like they're soft pencils. So it's just a few layers and a bit of smushing. There we go. I'm just going to go over this bit a bit more. So I'm seeing a fair bit of white paper showing through in places. Now, if you don't like that, you can go over that with a blending pencil and it will eliminate it even more so. I'm okay with it to some extent. I'm just going over it a little bit. I think in some circumstances white paper doesn't look very good, and in some circumstances you can get away with it. I think here it's fine, but you may disagree. You know, it's your piece, your book, or you may be colouring on a different picture with a different flower, because there are, you know, lots of Johanna Basford flowers. In her new book there will be even more. Have you seen? Johanna's new book is called Wonderful Wildflowers, The cover has been put on Amazon. I know she hasn't finished drawing it all yet. I don't know if I could deal with that kind of pressure, but anyway, I guess she has to. She has been sharing some of the pictures from it on Instagram. It's just lots of florals, which is what you would expect from a book called Wonderful Wildflowers. Yeah, I think it sounds like it's going to be cute, adorable sort of book. It's on Amazon UK for pre-order already. I haven't yet seen it on Amazon US. By the time the video goes out, it might be available on US. But I have pre-ordered my copy from Waterstones, who are a bookshop in the UK, a high street bookshop, but they have an online shop as well. Now the reason I order from them, now they are more expensive than Amazon. Amazon in the UK is cheap, but they ship much more reliably than Amazon. Now quite often Amazon shipping is very good, but when it comes to Johanna Basford books, they have let us down in the past and not ordered enough copies, even for people with pre-orders, and not shipped. But also, they don't ship until release day. Waterstones ships before release day, so I tend to get from them. But if you live near a Waterstones, you could pop into Branch and they might have them on pre-release day too. But I think it's a bit naughty. I don't know if the publishers really want them to do that, but I'm not complaining. I just hope they don't get into trouble and have to stop doing it. I don't really understand the point of a release day. You know, why not, once it's ready, just get it out there? But yeah, I don't. Anyone who's worked in the book industry might be able to tell me, but I just don't know. So I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm not talking you through it anymore. I am just basically scribbling. Yeah, scribbling. And I think it's coming along quite nicely. Now, yes, I haven't done these. They look very weird on this, but yeah, I'll get there. Sometimes I would dash about on a page doing different bits back and forth, but today I want to be ordered. Because I've got a bit of stress going on in my life, I want to be ordered in my colouring so that I keep calm, really. If I'm sort of dashing about doing a bit here, a bit there, over there, around there, you know, it's not a very calming process for me personally. So I want to deal with one thing at a time, step by step. So that's what I'm doing. Oh, my washing's just finished. I can hear it beeping away. I may stop and go and sort that out in a minute, but I want to finish each of these petals. This one looks a bit scruffy, but I think if I can just smush, 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 it's a little bit scruffy still. Now, I don't know how long this page is going to take to do, because it's quite big. The Johanna Basford's regular size books are quite big, aren't they? And I don't want to rush. As I say, I need some relaxation time myself. And when dog barking made me jump. That wasn't very relaxing. When I come in here and record, I take a virtual and literal deep breath, a sigh, and it's a nice relaxation time for me, because I can natter, I can colour. It's lovely. Washing machine's beeping at me again. I've just got these 3 to do, and then I'm going to go and hang up the rest of the washing. I had to do 2 loads today. I've had so much, but my son's just got some new trousers, so I've got him 3 pairs. I'm hoping it will see him through his work placement. So he wanted to put those all in the wash before he started wearing them, which I think is completely fair enough. I would do exactly the same. So we had that, and then my other son had put in a hoodie and stuff. I had some pyjamas and all sorts of things. So it's very exciting. I know you want to know what was in my laundry. Anyway. Now, once I've got the colour sorted on this, I'm also going to try and do a little bit of shadow, because I feel that at the moment, although the leaves are slightly different colours at the bases to the tips, they do sort of all blend into one. We can't see that this is deeper than and there's some shadow in here and here, so I might have a play around with that in a minute. We might end up only doing one flower today, but that's okay. I'm not in a rush, as I said. We can take it slowly. It's quite a big page. I'm just tidying that up a little bit. Right, I think I'm done for now with that. How long have I been? Wow, 20 minutes. So I'm going to stop video, go and hang out my washing. I'm going to come back and do these turned over bits, the centre bit, and then a bit of shading. And then we will do maybe the leaves or something else. You know, it won't just be this in this video, but I shall be back. Right, I am back from the washing. I feel like I want that to be there, but now my book's really wonky, so maybe it needs to be like that. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let us do the central areas first. So these little stamen, I think they might be called, I don't know. I'm going to do in the lamp black. And we have two blacks in the Holbein, a lamp black and a regular black. This one's a bit wobbly, the lead's a bit wobbly. I've sort of been slightly unsure as to the different. I think lamp black is a little bit paler. It's more like a Payne's grey than a black, but I grabbed it because it was sharper. It's good a reason as any, come on. So I'll just finish. If I think these look a bit too black, I might put a white dot on them, but that one hasn't coloured in. There we go. They're okay actually, they're not too overwhelming, shall I say. Right, now there's a little bit of petal in the middle. I'm tempted to, yes, I think I'm going to do it the same colour as the turnover bits, for want of a better description. Whoops, pencils are rolling everywhere. So I'm going back to my azalea, but I want to use this gently. Okay, so I'm going to hold it quite far up and just do on the side a little light shading like that. Okay, so it's just a little base colour. We're going to do the same here. And don't worry if you go out of the lines, because it'll all work out. And we're just doing each one of these little areas. There's a little dragonfly there. Didn't notice that. I probably did the first time I coloured this. It's been a long time since I coloured this page actually. Yes, that's all of those. Now, rather than going for my Naples yellow, I'm going to go slightly lighter. I'm going to use the cream. Okay, oh, there you go. I'm hoping that it'll sort of blend up and look a similar tone. Yeah, some sort of orangey tone. I can't get rid of that crumb. I'll do it in a minute. And just gently going over it all, trying to sort of mix it up a little bit. It's not mixing massively, but we're getting a orangey look. This looks quite similar to this, but I'm going to put a bit of shadow in once I've done this bit. Now, if you prefer not to, you can just leave it like this. You don't have to put the shadowy bits in. Or you can watch and decide if you want to, if you think it's worth the effort. I'm just trying to decide on the colour for the shadows, because black is quite harsh for a shadowy colour, but we've got pink and yellow. Now, I would often do a yellowy shadow in a brown, but I would do a pinky shadow in a black. So I'm a little bit confused. I think I'm going to use a warm grey. I'm hoping that might work. I think maybe the warm grey 5 might be the option for me. I'm going to give it a go. So here it is, warm grey 5. It's slightly brownish. I think it might work. I'm going to sharpen it. I've brought through the Tagal sharpener. I've been playing with it to try it out, because that's the one that came with the pencils. So I sort of trust that it's the right one. It sounds nice, doesn't it? Ooh, it's changing the shape of my pencil entirely. I put it on the long setting. Look, it's quite nice, isn't it? Now I'm going to start right in the middle. I'm just going to do a little bit in the center here. I'm just going to gently build up some colour, and I just want it to look like maybe these petals are slightly dipped in. So by putting a little bit of shadow there, we get maybe the idea of depth into the center there. This might not be dark enough. There we go. And then around the edge of here, as if this petal is creating a shadow on the petal below it. Oh, I think it is going to be dark enough. It's just a matter of layering it up a little bit so that it shows. Don't be tempted to press down really hard. Just gently layer it, she says to herself. Right, now what I want to do is to put a little bit of this onto the bottom of each of these petals. So I'm just going to put a little layer up from the bottom. Just try and blend a little bit, all the way around actually. All the way around here. Like that. Now here we've got this petal is behind, isn't it? So I'm thinking we can put a little bit all the way up the edge here and down this side, and then just sort of put a little bit in there. I've got a bit in here, a little bit at the bottom of each of these. I've done a bit already. Now this one is another one that's sort of underneath. They're going all the way up this side and here as well. Now I can see quite a bit of white paper in here. Can you see that area there? Now that's bothering me a little bit, so I'm going to get my blending pencil out and just deal with that as we go. Here it is, my Koh-i-noor Polycolor, and I'm only going to deal specifically with that little area that was bothering me, because I don't want to blend my warm grey into anything. And I can just use it here as well. Look, I think I was having trouble around those sort of stamens, so we can just do a little bit of work. Don't have to blend. If you like the white, keep it there, or you know, if you don't have the blending pencil. Now Holbeins come with a blending solution. I've not tried that yet. Right, I'm going back to my warm grey number 5, and where should we go now? Well, we've got these overlapping bits. I'm going to do this, so I just want to put a little bit of shadow underneath them. So I'm following the line here and putting a bit all the way along, like that. Now Johanna has drawn lines down, but I don't think there's supposed to be lots of shadow there, because there are lines on these as well. So I'm only going to do it across the line just so that it stands out, that you can see there's something a little bit different going on there. And I'm going to do that on all of them. But we don't need to put too much down, because it's such a pale colour. It will show up enough without a huge big layer. There we go. And now this one, come up the side and around like that. Got this one too. I probably missed one, you know what I'm like. Let's try and remember to do that one. I've rushed that one, which I shouldn't have, because I noticed this one and I'd better remember it. There we go. Now I want to do some more work between each of the petals as well. So we've sort of done this central area. So I'm going to move out to this layer, and I'm going to put a little bit of shadow in there. And in there it's a little bit too dotty for me. I'm going to just use my blending pencil. Just tidy that up a little bit. There we go. Now what I've noticed just then is that this blending pencil seems to work much more as a burnisher than a blender. So it can get rid of the white paper here, but it doesn't really smush the colours together. You're going to have to do that yourself. Put a bit in here and around here. Husband's just been doing some research because was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday we had internet outage for about 12 hours. It started at 1 AM, so that didn't worry us. And then it didn't come on until about just after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And he finds that sort of thing extremely stressful. And so he's just found this piece of equipment that he can buy, which can pick up the 3G and 4G signals, and we could then all use that to use our computers, etc. And it also runs on a battery, so if there's a power cut we could still use a router on our battery powered devices such as laptops and tablets and phones. Now for me, when there's a power cut, I just find things to do, you know, but for him he finds it very difficult to cope. And my son actually found it quite hard. He got bored quite quickly. I'm going to use my blending pencil a little bit here as well, and because all his games require a connection, internet connection, whereas I actually made some videos and did some editing because I don't need the internet for this, so it was all good for me. There we go. I think we're nearly done with this one now. Well, I am anyway. I need a bit. I haven't done any black on that, no shadow on that one. But I'm just tidying it up a little bit with the old blender. Just gonna go do this one. So anyway, he's been looking into that and he's found this device, but I basically said to him, doesn't really worry me at all, but if it's going to make a big difference to you, then go for it. Okay, so there is that flower. I think what I'd like to do is do a leaf, and we have one here. Now I don't want to do all the leaves the same on this particular page. Often I do, and I prefer it sometimes, but on this page I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play around so we can use lots of different colours, have a bit of fun, experimenting with some blends and things like that. So I'm going to start with this olive green. Now I think the olives go quite well with orange and yellow, so I think next to here it will work quite well. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do either side, but that's what's just influenced me. So I'm going to put my darkest green down here at the bottom, where it's next to the flower. So I'm going to put a reasonably thick layer on and then fade it off. Okay, so I'm going to keep it dark next to the flower and then fade it off for the whole leaf. Now there might be other leaves that are the same as this. I'm going to have a little look in a minute before I switch colours. There's a leaf here, but it looks slightly different, but I'm actually tempted to do it the same. I don't know if I can fit it all in shot. Just about. I'll come out a tad in case I knock the book and then you can't see. And just still double checking. No, I think that's okay. We'll do this one. It looks really similar shape. The lines are just drawn on slightly differently. We've got a whole dragonfly to avoid on this one. Now with this butterfly dragonfly, I think it's a damselflower dragonfly, we could put some green behind it and make the wings look see-through, but I think I'm going to colour the wings. I think that'll help it stand out a little bit more. I think it's the only... Oh, we've got a ladybird. Got a few critters. It's interesting actually, because in Johanna's latest books you don't find so many insects and critters in floral designs. I'm wondering what she's going to do in her new book. I'm now looking for the leaf green. I think it's this pencil. Yeah. And I'm going to go not right to the tip, but I'm going to go over what I've done almost all the way to the edge, maybe if I think it needs it, and then take this colour a bit further. Don't worry if you do go to the edge like I just did then. it's fine. But I am going to use another colour on the tips just to lighten it, make it look a little more interesting, and try out a few different colours and a bit of a colour blend combination. Oh, talking of colour blends, I watched a Colour with Claire video yesterday that she'd done, which was quite interesting. Basically, I think Castle Arts had sent her a tin of Harmonious pencils, and they are now available on Amazon, which they hadn't been before. And she had put together some ideas of blends with the pastel tints and or Harmonious and Prismacolor, because she was saying, you know, you can fill in some gaps, because Prismas are her favourite. She always uses those. So I think she was trying to find a way of trying to decide whether to go just olive yellow or whether to be a bit more daring and go mustard or yellow ochre. I think I'll go olive yellow. I'm not in a daring mood today. Here we go. I can always add some yellow if I think it needs it. This is a bit blunt. I think I'm going to change my sharpener to the other setting. There we go. Let's see if it's doesn't take so long to sharpen the pencil. Yeah, it's better. It's quite short, look. It's a really stubby one. Anyway, so she'd shown these blend ideas, and there was a download as well to look at, but it was quite interesting. Basically, she said that the castles are more of a layering pencil. They don't literally blend like Prismas do, but she still had a lot of success in getting the colours to work together. I also find that you can quite easily blend a Prismacolor together with a harder pencil like a Polychromos. They all work together. I think I did used to see things where people thought that hard and soft pencils didn't work together, but I really think they absolutely do. I've never had any trouble. I think you sometimes have to use a little bit of a different technique, and so if you are used to one particular type and one technique, then that's tricky. I think with a layering pencil, a hard pencil, that layering technique works with all pencils. But if you are used to a soft pencil that you can smush about on the paper with a blender or whatever, that does not work with the harder pencils in the same sort of way. So maybe that's where you have to be a little more careful. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I really want to just smush this all together and burnish it a bit more. I'm going to try doing that with my blending pencil again. It has got some red on the tip. I haven't got any scrap paper. I'm going to have to do the edge of my... Ooh, that was not the nicest one. I've got a piece of paper behind this page. I had to use the edge of that because I just forgot to bring through my little pad where I write down the colours I've used. See what you think. See if you think it's making a difference. I'm basically just trying to get rid of the white paper. And I think it's easier to do it with this sometimes than with the colours, because I'd have to remember which colour when and redo the blend and everything else. Whereas if I can just do this, it just sort of does it for me without any thought. I also find sometimes a blending pencil is cheaper than the actual pencil you're using. I suspect that's the case here as well, because I think Koh-i-noor are cheaper than Holbein. So it means that you save a bit of pencil, you know, which could be attractive, if, you know, with this very expensive set of pencils. Right, there is our blend. Now I think I want to put some shadow on the edge like I did with my flower. See the difference in the pencil sharpener. This is the 1 to 5. One's really short and one's really long. I couldn't work out which was which though. Anyway, so I'm going to put some shadow in there, because remember this flower is shadowing the leaf as well. So we can put that in, and then a bit here. And down in these little grooves things like that. I can see that I haven't quite gone to the end of that flower petal. I'm just grabbing my Naples yellow, just to tidy that up a little bit. And then, oh, we might want to go just there, like that. And then here, obviously along the edge here where the flower is, but I think also maybe around our winged insect. Can't think what it's called. Dragonfly, damselfly. I don't think it's a butterfly. I think I might do it before I finish, and then will probably take us to about 45 minutes. And we really haven't done very much, have we? But we do have several different groups of flowers that are the same, so it might speed us up a bit. But as I say, I'm not in a rush. Our planner page this week was very short, so I'm just going to work through this page. And this is the biggest flower as well. So here, I think for the body, ouch, I'm just going to go for a cool grey. This is number 4, cool grey 4. It's really little, so I don't think there's much I can do apart from block it in. Now, if this was a damselfly, which I thought it was, the body tends to be quite colourful. Oops, never mind. I think I'm going to do the wings. Now, I'm in sort of 3 minds. I could either do a reddish one, which I've seen around, reddish ones, a sort of turquoisey colour one, which I've seen around a lot as well, but I've decided I'm going to go with purple, a sort of violet, because I think it will look pretty. So, oh, the violet's gorgeous. I think that'll go quite nicely, actually. Oops, here's the violet. And we've got several sections. I think I will do the central section here with the violet. And here, and then maybe the bottom wing. Now, I was tempted to try and fade it towards the tip, but it's quite small. So I thought I would just end up I would just block it in. Like that. And then the tips, I could go lighter or darker. Either grape if you want to go darker, or wisteria for lighter. I'm going to go with the grape. I don't think it makes masses of difference. I just think it will stand out a little better with the grape, and I want it to stand out because I think it's cute. And I'm also going to put a few dots on him, because butterflies, which this isn't, often have little white dots on. So, and I think it will just bring it forwards rather than it, at the moment it looks a little bit dark. So let's just grab my Jelly Roll 10. Now, none of the Holbeins bleed into white, so we don't need to worry about that. I'm going to put one on the end of each, and I'm going to do around that little there, that section, one on there, and then a few. I've probably overdone it, haven't I? But it stands out a little bit more now. And you could put a white, I'm going to put some white dots on these too. Remember I said I might? Decided that I will. I sometimes find a white dot helps to make them look slightly more three-dimensional and slightly more lifted up in the air. Sounds a little bit weird. So rather than them lying flat on the petal, so let's say this pen is the stamen, rather than looking like they're there, they look like they're sort of like that. I don't know if that makes sense, or if you think that's right. That's how I see it. Okay, I am done with that part, so let's come out and to see how it sits within the whole huge heart. We haven't done very much, have we? But I'll come back and do some more, obviously. So that is the beginning, I suppose. How wonky are we? I'm trying to... It's really difficult. I think the heart isn't... I know what it is, because this is quite a smooth edge, but this sort of goes like that, and these things overlap. I think that's part of the problem. Anyway, there we go. There's the beginning. I'm pleased. I'm liking how it's coming along. So we need a lot of different colours, you know, some more purples, some more blues, things like that, but we'll get there. But thank you for watching today. Hopefully you'll tune in for the next one. Please do like, subscribe and comment. Really helps the channel. It's just a little something that people can do that isn't going to cost you anything and will help me immensely. So I really appreciate those of you that make the effort to do that. Thank you so much. But hopefully you'll tune in tomorrow as well and watch. That will also help. So thank you. Have a lovely day and happy colouring.